Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, nearly 3 hours long. Leonardo DiCaprio attended the premiere, and by the end, his date was too old for him. So...
And I mean, Leonardo DiCaprio, what can I even say about him? He's done so much to fight climate change and leave behind a cleaner, greener planet for his girlfriends.
Very
the tabloids,
exciting.
your hotel room was a revolving door for every, you know, hot young thing in town.
Wow, you can't believe what you read. The
But
truth.
you're a nice boy.
Am I a nice boy? I suppose that's subject to interpretation.
I know that just like with the Fresh and Fit podcast episode, there are going to be a lot of interesting comments I'm going to get to read. What do you think they're going to say about... I don't know what they could possibly have to say. I look so beautiful today.
Yeah, but men always rally to Leo.
They always rally to Leo. Leonardo DiCaprio's latest girlfriend, Camilla Morrone, was 6 months old when Titanic hit theaters in 1997. Morrone and DiCaprio started dating when she was 21 and he was 44. In fact, a lot of his relationship seemed to conspicuously end right around his girlfriend's 25th birthday. Camilla Morrone unfortunately got a lot of grief from people on Instagram when she was dating Leonardo DiCaprio. People love to comment on her photos saying, "Just you wait, he's gonna dump you once you're 25. She responded to this with a photo of Lauren Bacall and Humphrey Bogart, a famous age gap relationship from old Hollywood. As a lot of people pointed out, there's some pretty significant differences between her relationship with Leo and Lauren Bacall and Humphrey Bogart's relationship. When Humphrey Bogart met Lauren Bacall, he was 44 and she was just 19. They went on to marry the following year. They were married until his death at age 57. Really very little in common with their relationship and Leonardo DiCaprio's string of 20 to 25-year-old models. Since his split with Morrone, DiCaprio has been seen partying in Saint-Tropez with 22-year-old model Maria Baragova. When asked in an interview about her relationship status with DiCaprio, Baragova insisted that she couldn't disclose any details of her personal life. But when radio host asked her if she had ever seen Titanic, she responded, "Who hasn't seen this movie?" Which I'll just point out is not a yes. A 20-year-old, sound off. Have you seen Titanic?
I think a lot of them did like retro as a retro thing, like a dorky movie from the 90s
Like
kind
how-
of thing, and it had a wave of popularity again in it.
Like how flares came back. They were like, let's obsess over this sinking ship again.
Yeah.
Okay. His most recent breakup has renewed interest in a graph posted on Reddit 3 years ago by Reddit user Trust Little Brother. The graph shows that since Leonardo DiCaprio started dating Gisele Bündchen when he was 24 and she was 18, he has not dated a woman over the age of 25. The men of Reddit flooded the comments, explaining that Leonardo DiCaprio was simply doing what any man would do given enough wealth and fame. It's not a lifestyle that literally any other man wouldn't do if they could pull hot 20-year-olds like him. They're all of legal age. He dates them because they're prettier than his age mates. It's that simple. Shaming rich men for dating young, hot women is just a different type of slut shaming. Yeah, it's creepy to prefer women from 20 to 25 when they are their hottest and most fertile. There is really strong evidence. Ooh, here we go. This guy has a graph. There is really strong evidence that men generally find younger women more attractive. As early as age 20, female sexual desirability begins dropping off.
Did they say at 20 women start
20.
to drop off? What the fuck?
People keep bringing up this idea that men find younger women more attractive because they're more fertile, which I would accept if the cutoff was age 30. To my knowledge, there's not a big difference between the fertility of a 20-year-old versus a 28-year-old. In heterosexual couples, it is true that the man is almost always older, but in the US and Canada, that age gap is usually only a few years. I looked up a bunch of the age differences between Hollywood leading men and their partners, and while yes, the man is usually older, these women are allowed to turn 30 and 40 even. A lot of what the incels, are saying on Reddit about how it's totally normal and it's what any guy would do, it's very obvious that it's not what a lot of rich, powerful, famous people do. Absolutely, there's no problem with dating someone younger than you are. If you're a man and you want to settle down in your 40s or 50s, you're going to look to someone who's in their late 20s, early 30s, if you're thinking that you want to start a family. Absolutely. But 25? You can't date anyone older than 25? None of these women are turning into pumpkins on their 26th birthday. Like, here's a picture of Bar Raffaele today. I don't know. I don't think that she's gone too far downhill since the time they were dating. So if we can put aside the idea that this is about beauty and the idea that there's this extreme beauty drop-off after age 25, what is it really about? I think part of the answer comes from this guy. I want to say his name is Joe Rogan.
People say, oh, you're a pervert. Let me tell you the actual reason. It's nothing to do with the fact that she's more fertile and I could easily knock her up. It's nothing to do with the fact that even she's better looking, because there's some beautiful girls who are older.
Yeah.
But the younger a girl is, the less bullshit she's been through with men and the softer she is as a person. The problem is when you get a girl who's 30, how many dicks have been through her? And I'm not even worried about the dicks been through her. How many times has her heart been broken? How many times she had arguments that she's jaded? It's hard to get some genuine feminine softness out of a woman who's 30 and single. She's been through the fucking track. She's been through too much.
Man, a 19-year-old is more attractive than a 26-year-old woman, and I'll tell you why. Because that 26-year-old has talked to more guys, been to the club more times, been more places, been fucked and dumped more times, more arguments, more heartbreak, more bullshit, more mess for me to clean up. Whereas a 19-year-old might have had one guy from high school, just broke up, she's fresh, and I can fucking put my imprint on her and make her a good person, and without her having to go through all that detriment to learn about life. With a girl who's 26, 27, she's gonna be sitting there going, I know men like you, I've seen what men like you do, you ain't going out to the...
Yeah, I don't like that.
It's a lot easier to get your way, win the argument, be the smarter, more experienced person in the relationship when you're 2 decades older. Also, age 25 is when your prefrontal cortex is done developing. Your prefrontal cortex is the part of your brain that governs decision making and considering the consequences of your actions. Maybe it's not all on Leo. Maybe 25 is the age when women say, where is this going? We've been dating for 4 years and you still want to go to clubs in Saint Tropez every night. Like, I don't want to live on a yacht. Leo is a man's boy, a boy's man, a boy's boy. He's always had really intense friendships with other actors. I don't want to say bromances, but I think that is the word probably most people would use. And I think that another aspect that he may cherish about his much younger girlfriends is just the status that having a girlfriend under 25 imparts to other men. His male co-stars seem to find his predilection for much younger women to be pretty adorable.
I love him, but he's very addicted to devices and things like that, right? Talking to him, he's totally taking, but then he's checking because this club might be blowing up, or that club might, he's trying to figure out which club is blowing up, and which Israeli supermodel turned 18 4 hours ago. I really liked the video from the YouTube channel called We're in Hell that reviews a reality show from the early 2000s called Keys to the VIP. In this show, pickup artists go to clubs while being watched from afar by their tutors to see if they can complete tasks like getting a girl's number after they insult her shoes. We're in Hell makes the point that it doesn't actually seem like the point of the show is to have sex or get a girlfriend or form a relationship. It's all about showing off to their tutors that they're able to execute these strategies.
him getting this woman's number to score points with the judges is kind of a perfect reflection of the way PUAs are motivated to pick up women, not to find a partner or even just get laid, but for the approval of other men. We can see this in a paper by Daria Dayton called, all these papers have amazing names, Man Bragging Online, Self-Praise on Pickup Artist Forums. What she found, other than the bottom of a bottle, is that for these guys, the end goal of picking up girls is just so that they can brag about it to their cool internet friends. The fantasy is in using women as a way to demonstrate their status within masculinity, while these 4 supposed male archetypes watch and cheer for them.
Leo's philandering and his close bonds with other actors based on this philandering lifestyle first came to the public's attention in the 1990s when New York Magazine published an article about Leonardo and his friends, which they referenced his circle of friends, calling it the Pussy Posse. The Pussy Posse, Pussy Posse, Pussy Posse, Pussy Posse. It's my vocal warm-up.
I can't say it.
Say it!
No.
Say it!
Lady Patrol.
The Pussy Posse included Toby McGuire, Jay Ferguson.
Why would he be on the posse?
He was such a pig. We'll get into him a little bit.
Toby McGuire?
Toby McGuire is a pig, is what I learned. We'll get into that. Toby McGuire, Kevin Connolly, Jay Ferguson, and David Blaine, the magician.
Ew.
Kevin Connolly has insisted in subsequent interviews that they didn't call themselves the Pussy Posse, and that was something that the New York Magazine reporter came up with. This article suggested that we might get a glimpse of the Pussy Posse in action in an indie movie that was suppressed from having a release in the United States called Don's Plum.
Black Hole! I'm in a relationship.
Keep in mind that Clerks had just come out, another movie that I'm sure Leonardo DiCaprio's new girlfriend is not familiar with. Don's Plum is a black and white, highly indulgent, meandering, weird attempt at cinema verite that Leonardo DiCaprio improvised along with Toby McGuire and a few of their other friends from the Pussy Posse.
Just call it the posse.
Pussy Posse, Pussy Posse, Pussy Posse. Yeah, Toby McGuire, who always comes across in movies as being very cute and wholesome, in the movie plays this really desperate, creepy, would-be Leonardo DiCaprio.
Will you come with me to meet my friends at a diner very soon? A little later.
Now?
Tonight, a little later.
No, I can't.
It just shows him trying to get girls to come with him to go hang out with Leonardo DiCaprio and their other friends in this diner. And then they proceed to be absolute little dicks. Leonardo DiCaprio calls a waitress fat.
That chicken's fat.
And he then bullies one of the girls into leaving the scene.
We're freaking biatch. Get out of here, you slut, bitch!
That apparently was real. He didn't like that actress, and so he intentionally got into an improvised fight with her in the movie so that they could write her out.
Ew.
Yeah. DiCaprio's character also tries to have sex with a girl in the restaurant and then is really mean to her when she won't comply.
What are you doing? I'm gonna fuck you in the bar, Don's Plum. Are you fucking out of your mind?
Fuck out of here, alright? You disgust me, please. You're a whore. You're a whore. Go, go, go.
People have speculated that because this movie is largely improvised, it seems like maybe we're getting a glimpse of the real DiCaprio, McGuire, Pussy Posse vibe. McGuire allegedly leaned on his long-term friend, Leo, to block it.
Wait, they tried to shut their own movie down in distribution?
Yes.
Because it made them look bad?
They made themselves look bad, but yes. Right. This is again from the New York Magazine article Toby McGuire, according to the $10 million lawsuit filed in LA Superior Court by David Stutman, this film's producer, became concerned that improvisational comments he had made during the film revealed personal experiences or tendencies that would undermine his public image. The scene that he really insisted on being deleted was a scene where he's talking about masturbation, and he mentions that he likes to have his pinky, not necessarily in, but in the vicinity of his butthole. And he thought that would just ruin his career. And I mean, I don't know, it was the 90s. I mean, maybe that's not so
Whatever you want to do with your pinky.
You can't be Spider-Man with your pinky.
Oh, Toby. This is
Toby.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's not allowed to do pinky stuff.
To be clear, I don't care if Leonardo DiCaprio dates younger women. I don't see a problem with his relationships. I don't think he deserves to be mentioned in the same breath as Woody Allen or Prince Andrew. For all I know, his exes think very highly of him and have no complaints. I do care that there are so many men who seem to think that this is just what anyone would do. When you normalize age gap relationships, you pave the way to not question relationships like, I don't know, Dane Cook's recent engagement to his 23-year-old fiancée, who he says he had been friends with for some time. As one Twitter user pointed out, hopefully not an amount of time longer than 5 years. Dane Cook is rumored to have met her at a game night at his house where he, again, rumored to regularly invite teenage girls, some as young as 14.
No!
Admittedly, I don't see people defending Dane Cook the way they do Leonardo DiCaprio. Obviously, Dane Cook doesn't have nearly the relevance or star power that DiCaprio has. Hollywood is a rich breeding ground for creeps who like to take advantage of uneven power dynamics in relationships. My big point here is you can have whatever preferences you want, but if your preferences includes objectifying people based on something as superficial as their age, then maybe what you're after isn't so much beauty, but power and control.
Assholes are everywhere, and there's more of them every fucking day. We breed them like flies.